Oh my God. Guys, this is Ray Master Flex. I just finished watching SmackDown a few minutes ago, and the angle I want to bring up here is Apollo Crews. After several weeks of the slow turn of him turning, of us seeing a different side of him, he just full on tonight turned heel after being angry after losing to Shinsuke Nakamura, and then he, completely attacks Shinsuke. Big E tries to tell him, leave, go, get out of here, and then he hits Big E with the steel steps only, and then they try to push him off. He keeps beating down Shinsuke. Big E tries to stop him. He acts like he acts like he's gonna go away. Then he hits Big E with the steel steps. Then Big E falls down. Then they try to still stop him. Next thing you know, he grabs the steel steps and throws it down directly on Big E. I mean, my God, this is something that a lot of people have probably wanted to see for quite some time with Apollo Crews. He's very athletic. He's got the skills. He's a very, really good in-ring worker. But the one thing that Apollo have been missing for quite some time is just the full personality, the full character in some capacity. And we did see that somewhat on Raw when he was battling with the Hurt Business. But to see this change in character, which really the first glance of it that we seen was him and Big E's first encounter back on the January 8th episode of SmackDown when Big E first defended his Intercontinental Championship against Apollo, and they ruled it a draw because they both had each other pinned. And then Big E was just gonna leave. He was just like it was done. But Apollo's like, you're gonna finish the match like this. You're gonna finish like that. And that's when he slapped Big E, which convinced him to have the ref restart the match, and Big E ended up retaining the belt. But then after that, the following week, you saw him, which in this case, this wasn't necessarily a heel. He hadn't fully developed yet, but we knew it was going to happen. The following week, we saw him sitting down with Paul Heyman, which unfortunately they haven't followed up with that. So I'm not really sure if he is going to be, aligning himself with Roman and Paul Heyman, or if he isn't. I think it'd be interesting if he did, because that would be very interesting to throw him into the mix. But we only saw that happen once. And, we haven't seen it since then, but we did see him sitting by Roman's side the very next week on SmackDown. And so it looked as if he was going to be like a new guy, part of Roman's travel, whole thing with Jay and everything. But nothing really followed up from that. But you saw the slow turn from that match to the next week when he beat Sammy with the tights, even though Sammy did it first. But, he still had his eyes set on Big E to, them having the amazing triple threat match, which was actually the week before last. Just an amazing match. I believe it was February 5th episode of SmackDown. One of the, my match of the night for that week, that triple threat match for IC title, Big E, Apollo, and Sammy. And Big E ended up pinning Apollo. And it was at that point when that match was over that I thought Big E was going to snap then, because he looked as though he was going to attack Apollo, excuse me. I thought Apollo was going to snap then because it looked as if he was going to attack Big E after being pinned once again by Big E with the IC title on the line. But that didn't happen. And now we've seen the full dark turn of Apollo. So it was just a gradual thing. You knew he was turning. You saw the change of his character. But tonight, he just completely snapped. I mean, my goodness, this feud here is really got heated up. And, you knew it was only a matter of time before Apollo was just going to be done. You just knew it was a matter of time before Apollo was just going to be completely just go ballistic. Like, you just knew it was going to happen. But what a way it did for him to just brutally attack, first attack Shinsuke, then attack Big E. And to drop the steel steps on him, really just a crazy turn here. And that may have not been the only heel turn we saw tonight. I'm not really sure where Otis and Chad Gable stand after they, attacked Rey Mysterio, where Otis looked as though he was going to win the match, but then he, splashed Rey twice with the command of Chad Gable in their match with Rey and Dominic. I'm not really sure what we're seeing there. with that mix there was kind of strange, but this was definitely a full-fledged heel turn in an Apollo situation, for sure. And not to mention that, we had a killer angle to end off the show with the six-man tag match. So, this was definitely very interesting SmackDown. You had the killer angle to end off the night with the six-man tag with Kevin Owens teaming up with Daniel Bryan and Cesaro against Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, and Jay Uso. And it was Daniel who actually picked up the win for his team. But the way that they ended the match with everybody going at each other, you know, after Daniel wins, he gets a end of days from Baron Corbin. Then I think Baron Corbin got stuttered by Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens got attacked by Sami Zayn. I think Sami got attacked by Cesaro, and Cesaro got attacked by Jay Uso. Then Jay Uso got speared by Edge, and because it looked like Jay was going to be the last one standing. But then, of course, you knew once he speared Jay that Roman was going to get involved. So then Edge spears Jay Uso, and then Edge gets speared by Roman Reigns. So what a way to end off the go-home show for the Elimination Chamber. I'm definitely ready to see it after this. And even if they don't put the Apollo and Big E thing on the card, which they probably won't, considering how this just happened, he's already had two chances at the belt, so they probably won't put it at the card. But I'm really ready for this to just tune it up, because this was just crazy. I think the way that they ended SmackDown tonight was a killer angle, and I think this whole thing with Apollo Crews is just the character that we've needed for quite some time. And it's crazy. You knew he was gonna snap, and tonight was just it. This was definitely um, just a turn for this guy, and now we could be seeing some even more matches with him and Big E. Even though I was looking forward to Shinsuke match with Big E last week with the Open Challenge when he told Apollo to go back to catering. Apollo intentionally got Shinsuke disqualified. I think he super kicked. I think he dropped kicked Big E, or he drop kicked Shinsuke to get him disqualified intentionally, or whatever way it went. But you've seen the gradual turn from then to the week before to even throughout January, this turn that Apollo was going to have. But my goodness, after sitting down half of the second half of the year, once he got moved back to SmackDown after leaving Raw, and then to now being this big angle with Big E. Man, this is gonna be something. So I had to come on here and talk about this. This was wow, man. On a SmackDown that had a amazing ending going into the Elimination Chamber, just wow. It's just oh my goodness, it's just amazing. So sign off, Ray Master Flex. I just want to come on here and do a video about this for sure. um, Man, Apollo, we've seen it time and time again throughout the weeks, but now he's just completely snapped. And that's the thing with some heel turns. Some heel turns, it's coming, you see it, you see the change in the character, but it's still a gradual thing. Bailey's a perfect example of that. When she first looked as she was turning heel, we were seeing the gradual changes with some of the things she was doing in her matches. But it wasn't until she destroyed the Bailey bubbles that she was fully a full heel. When she cut her hair, changed her hairstyle, you know when she did that, that's when she was fully turned. And you could say the same thing for Apollo. We've seen the change. We've seen him gradually turn heel, but this tonight just cemented it. This was the angle that really cemented it, and I'm really interested to see how they're gonna go with this, because this is crazy. I mean, you just randomly got added Sasha Banks and Bianca going against Shayna and Nia for the women's tag team belts at the Elimination Chamber. Randomly added after Nia got pinned by the Sommelier, Reginald, whatever. That was pretty funny. That six tag team match with him, for whatever reason, wanted to be with Sasha and Bianca, and and then them two teamed up with Bailey because they would showed up on the Knock Knock Ding Dong show. So it was a pretty solid SmackDown, and this was just the angle I just had to bring up. Aside from the killer angle that they had to finish the show, this is the one I had to bring up. So sign over to Flex. Like, comment, subscribe. Talk to you guys in another video.